Welcome to 21st Century Common Sense, a bold reform agenda for our broken, gridlocked, dysfunctional, and boring politics. This is one of a series of 4 presentations that discuss challenges to our democracy, proposed fixes to those challenges, a special focus on the proposed fix to gerrymandering, and a first draft of a revised constitution designed to fix all of these issues at once. This third presentation discusses the gerrymander fix, which is sufficiently complex to merit its own presentation. The House of Representatives will never be truly representative until we fix how our Congressional District, or CD, boundaries are drawn. This presentation introduces a standardized method of fair and impartial redistricting which precludes gerrymandering forever. Congress has the power to apply this fix nationwide. Quoting from Article 1, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution, the times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed by each state by the legislature thereof. But the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations, except as to the place of choosing senators. Just a small refresher concerning the gerrymandering problem. Every 10 years, the Constitution demands that a census be conducted and that seats in the U.S. House of Representatives be reapportioned to the states based on each state's population. States then subdivide themselves into congressional districts, and voters elect one representative from each CD. Gerrymandering is the practice of drawing CD boundaries to favor one political party or candidate. The fix proposed here would end gerrymandering forever. First, we must agree on the objectives. The redistricting system must 1. Equalize populations of all CDs within a state. 2. Keep neighbors together, defining neighbors as people living in the same zip code tabulation area. 3. Draw a compact shape. And 4. Avoid all other considerations. The other considerations that have been used in the past include race, ethnicity, religion, income, education, and party affiliation. Whether any such considerations ever serve a legitimate purpose, we will be much better off if we simply avoid them altogether. The worst practices at present are that politicians often make the decisions, and oftentimes their own self-interest is paramount. Hence, the best system is one which avoids all human decisions. We propose a rule-governed process, using the same process in every state. This process is transparent and replicable. Any high school civics class should be able to draw CDs for any state, and all the results should be the same. We propose to build CDs from contiguous zip code tabulation areas by scanning a state and adding ZCTAs to form each CD. This solution involves 3 new concepts: ZCTA, reference line, and scan line. You are all familiar with zip codes. Designed by the U.S. Postal Service, a zip code defines a collection of mail delivery routes around a post office. A zip code has no boundaries. After completing the Census Bureau uses the post office's zip codes to create zip code tabulation areas, which do have boundaries. And then the Census Bureau tabulates the population in each ZCTA. When a ZCTA crosses county or state borders, a ZCTA is established in each jurisdiction. We will demonstrate our proposed scheme with ZCTAs, reference lines, and scan lines using this imaginary state, which has been apportioned to have 4 congressional districts. Our imaginary state has been divided into 28 ZCTAs. As we scan across the state, we will add ZCTAs to the current CD until that CD reaches its target population. We start the process by drawing a reference line connecting the two most distant points in that part of the state not yet assigned to a CD. Initially, that means the whole state. We then select the western end of the reference line as the starting point for our scan. Next, we draw the scan line, which is a line perpendicular to the reference line and through the starting point. Now we drag the scan line along the reference line, keeping the scan line perpendicular to the reference line, and we add each ZCTA to CD1 as soon as the scan line touches it. We stop dragging the scan line when the population of CD1 reaches the target, that is, the total state population divided by 4. We will then repeat this process to create CD2. Start by drawing the reference line, shown here in red, connecting the two most distant points in the rest of the state. Pick the western end of the reference line as the starting point. Draw the scan line, blue, perpendicular to the reference line and through the starting point. Drag the scan line along the reference line, adding ZCTAs to CD2 until CD2 is complete. For CD3, draw the reference line, the starting point, and the scan line. Drag the scan line and add ZCTAs until CD3 is complete. When all CDs except one have been drawn, then everything left over must necessarily belong to the last CD. We do not need to draw a reference line or scan line for CD4. Just color it in. Here is a summary of the steps needed to create a congressional district. We begin by creating a reference line connecting the two most distant points in the state not yet assigned to a CD. We determine the starting point at the western end of the reference line. We then create a scan line perpendicular to the reference line and through the starting point. We then begin dragging the scan line along the reference line, touching ZCTAs. As we touch each ZCTA, we add the land and population of that ZCTA to the current congressional district. We stop dragging the scan line when adding one more ZCTA would put too many people in the CD. And we repeat all of these steps until all CDs for the state are created. Applying our proposed scheme to Maryland, we drew straight CD lines for this example based on county population data because we did not have maps with the necessary detail to show all the ZCTA boundaries accurately. So this is an approximation of Maryland's 8 CDs based on the 2010 census and our proposed scheme. For a second example, we drew the 13 CDs for North Carolina, again based on county population data from the 2010 census. Here are sample reference and scan lines for CD1 in Tennessee, Oklahoma, West Virginia, and New Hampshire. Thank you for watching this presentation. Please view the others as well. For more information on the challenges, fixes, and draft Constitution 2, follow the link to the book on Amazon. You can also join the conversation at 21commonsense.org. Thanks again.